Hello, beautiful babes, and welcome to my sketchbook where we are going to be drawing one of my characters, Atlantis. Atlantis is a Percy Jackson character that I have, and we are going to be talking about him today. Woo! I will admit, I really love Atlantis. And you shall see why, because I just love him so much. But he is a child of Poseidon. His full name is Atlantis Tide Seaman. That's Seaman. Do not get it wrong. And yes, that's the entire joke about it. That and the fact that seaman is also a rank in either the Marines or the Navy. And I just thought that'd be a really funny joke to do. Atlantis is like 1920-ish, and he basically has been in military schools his whole life. He is kind of not exactly the most rule-abiding kind of guy. He gets into a whole bunch of trouble. He's constantly, not picking fights, just doing stupid stuff. Like, he's a nice guy. He's just stupid. You know that little voice in the back of your head that tells you what not to do? Yeah, he does not have that. He has the impulsivity voice that goes, what if you did this? What if he did this? What if he did that? He has that. And he does not have the voice in the back of your head that tells you don't do that, because that'll get you killed. He does not have that. And he does not care if he thinks he's going to end up getting killed, because he doesn't think he's going to get killed. He knows he's going to work his way around it. He ain't going to die. That's his theology anyway. But Atlantis, he ends up joining the Marines after he graduates high school, not by his choice. His mom kind of made him join the Marines, but whenever he was in the Marines, boy, did he climb up the ranks quick. Because the unfortunate thing when it comes to Atlantis is one of those people who he just kind of makes you perceive whatever you see him as. If you see him as a little dumb kid, he's gonna play the part of a dumb kid. You see him as a soldier, he's gonna play the part of the soldier. He really does not know who he is as a person. He is constantly changing everything about him, playing dumb, despite the fact that he is a ridiculously smart dude. But he will play dumb. He will act like he can't fight. He will act like he doesn't know certain things. He will just be childlike, because that is how certain people at camp see him, and that's just how he's gonna be. And then in the Marines, everyone sees him as this high-ranking gunnery sergeant, and he plays the part of the drill sergeant. He plays the part of a very strict, smart, war-torn guy. And he only really has those two extremes that he goes in between, being just a childlike kid and just being a soldier. That's all he knows. That's all he's ever learned to be. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that he was never given that much attention as a kid. He would act out trying to get his mother and his siblings' attention, but she would just ground him, or send him off to a military school where he would do what he's told, because he just never got the right kind of attention as a kid. He tried to get attention multiple times, and that just really hammered home this persona of him being this immature, rowdy, reckless kid that he now still occasionally taps into as an adult, sort of an adult, young adult, I should say. And he just flips between that, because that's all he ever really was told to be. Like, that's all he was as a kid. And whenever he gets sent into the military as a Marine, he's now suddenly given a whole bunch of attention because he's really good at what he does. And so he stays with that until he really gets bored of it. And it gets to a point when in the Marines where he gets so sick and tired of playing this same part of soldier. He's tired of it. He wants to go do something else, so he gets somebody to make himself a fake ID to where he can pretend to be older, aka so he can drink. He gets himself a fake ID. He steals one of the Marines' ships, like one of the smaller ships, when he was over deployed in Europe. He was on a base over in Europe. I haven't decided what they were doing in Europe, but he was over on a base in Europe, and he decided, yeah, I'm gonna totally steal this ship and go do my own thing. And so he eventually somehow makes his way to like Germany or something. I don't know. Somewhere where there's a dock. I don't think Germany has a dock because I don't know my geography that well, but somewhere around that area, he ends up going into this bar. He could get in now since he has the fake ID, and he befriends this Russian guy. His name is Erlend, and he too is also a demigod. He is a son of Dionysus. He's a son of Dionysus, and his mother is like a Norse witch. So he's a fun little combo of the two of them. But he sees this just big, buff, not really big. He's insert picture of Erlend here to describe him, because I can't think of the words right now to describe Erlend and his physique. But he sees this big Russian guy, and he's just, yeah, you're gonna be my new best friend. And this guy, he is just throwing them back. He is depressed as all get out. And he's like, yeah, new friend. And just kind of latches over on Erlend for the rest of the night. And somehow this kid convinces Erlend to go with him out to sea. To go back to New York or whatever. I think Erlend's the one that brings up the idea that they're going to go to New York and go back to camp. And because Erlend was basically raised over in camp. Basically. He's lived almost his whole life over there. And so he mentions the idea, and Atlantis is like, I that sounds pretty cool. And so they go off to sea. I'm gonna sneeze. Is that it? I think that's it. But they go off to sea together. And Erlend, he's been around the block. He knows how to operate a ship. He knows the whole 9 yards. And he's not really having it. Because the thing with Erlend is, bless his heart, he's had the worst, deck of cards. He has been dealt the worst hand. My guy basically lived at camp his whole life, had to deal with the Battle of Manhattan. After that, ended up going on his own little side quest to figure out where and who his mother is, because he never knew who his mom was, and wound up in Russia for 12 years of his life, where he rounded up his own little crew of demigods, only for them all to get brutally killed. Bro even had a wife and a kid. Both of them got murked, man. And so now you have Erlend sitting in a random bar close to Germany, where this random military guy just waltzes in going, "You're my new friend. I have a boat. Let's go sail back to America." And he's just, "Yeah, sure. Let's go do that then." And so they go off and go to the Americas. But they don't exactly go to the Americas, because when does things ever go right? They wind up low-key recreating the Odyssey and traveled to the Sea of Monsters, aka the Bermuda Triangle in Rick Riordan's world. They go to the Bermuda Triangle. They interact with some sirens. They have to deal with some sirens. They do not encounter a Cyclops. They dodge that bullet, because if I remember correctly, I think that Cyclops ended up dying or something. I don't remember. It's been like several years since I read Percy Jackson, man, but they dodge that bullet. Still have to deal with the sirens, though. And eventually, they end up crossing paths with Njord. And if you don't know who Njord is the Norse sea god. He is, for the most part, a very mellow kind of guy. He is very hard to tick off. And Atlantis is the one guy who actually manages to full-heartedly, mind you, tick off the most pleasant sea god around. And you want to know how he ends up doing that? He ends up yapping his mouth so hard that bro ends up ticking the guy off. He's already been taking Erlend off the whole time, because one, he's been acting incompetent the whole time. He's the reason why they kept getting lost. Only for them to now get tick off the sea god, the Norse one, and going and trying their best to escape his wrath and not die from it. Yeah, it's safe to say that Erlend nearly killed him that day, but they I like to mention they stayed at sea for about 2 or so years, and so they're stuck on this small boat, which is about the size of a bedroom. If I got my math right, it's about the size of a pretty large master bedroom. It's a small boat. Stuck on that for 2 years. Let that sink in for a minute. They're stuck on that for 2 years straight. Erlend, who has been depressed, lost everything, is stuck with the world's most incompetent demigod, who he doesn't know is a demigod yet. He just knows that this is just some random marine who went AWOL and picked him up one day. And so and you have Atlantis, who's been trying to make the light of the situation this whole time. All the while, Erlend has tried killing him multiple times, because Erlend is very much ticked off at this guy. He's had enough of this guy. He's tried steering them in the right direction, only for Atlantis to turn around the other way, or tick off some random other monster at sea, or get them like stranded in the middle of nowhere, get them stuck on an island for a couple months. And like, what say you? Atlantis is good at causing mayhem, unfortunately. And here's the kicker with all of this. He knows very well how to steer a ship. He was a gunnery sergeant. He's just doing all of this because he thinks it's fun. That, and he knows Erlend perceives him as a kid and as like this incompetent guy. So he's gonna play the part of the incompetent guy and keep doing it. Though I will admit, this boy has no idea that Erlend's been trying to kill him. Erlend has tried killing him 72 times. I have decided that, specifically 72, no more, no less. He has tried killing Atlantis 72 times. And every single attempt he has had fails. Erlend chalks this up to the Norse sea god. And that this is the entire reason that this is the wrath of the Norse sea god, that he can't kill Atlantis. And it's just some cruel joke that the gods are playing on him. To be fair, he thinks his life is a cruel joke that the gods have been playing on him. Because bro's had a rough life, but I love these two idiots so much. They're both idiots in their own right. But good God, eventually they end up making it back to camp. And just like, because most of the campers know Erlend. But when they knew him, he was like this like 12, 13, 14-year-old kid. This 13-year-old redhead who was scrawny, skin and bones, but like probably one of the better fighters in camp, because I will remind you once again, he was basically raised at camp, so yeah, he's gonna end up being a good fighter. That and being tossed in with the kid as Dionysus, yeah, he's gonna be a good fighter. But you have what was once a scrawny kid with just coming back to camp on a marine ship with some guy named Atlantis, who ends up being claimed as the son of Poseidon, roll back up to camp with a giant axe in the thickest Russian accent you can ever imagine. Well, what's that guy's name? Well, call me Torrance Fletcher, because that just gave me whiplash. Like, bro, that would genuinely be the wildest thing. Just seeing this scrawny kid come back with a Russian accent, a giant axe, and just being more built than he ever was. With also with like another son of Poseidon in tow, who was a marine on a marine ship, sailing onto the beach of Camp Half-Blood. That'd be the wildest freaking thing. It is the funniest thing I like to imagine. Because, like, good God, that's not exactly something you see every day. I just got that, and the epiphany that everyone finds out that Atlantis is actually secretly super smart. Oh God, it kills me, because he would be hunted down by one Erlend specifically, because Erlend's been stuck on the ship with him for 2 years. How angry that man must have been when he turns around to look at Atlantis, who could have done his part and his fair share the whole time without getting them lost for 2 years. How enraged that man must have been, all the while Atlantis just has the biggest smile on his face, just because he's a little dork, and I love him. And he's a little dopey, as smart as he is. But he's just looking up at Erlend like, oh, I guess I messed up. And he's just, yes, you did mess up, in his thick Russian accent. I'm not doing it right now because I don't feel like it. But good God, it would just be so freaking funny to me. I love my stupid little babies. And like, on top of it all, Atlantis is extra screwed because not only is this man the son of Dionysus, god of madness and mayhem, he is also the son of a Norse witch. Erlend can do Norse magic. Atlantis is 10 shades. 50 shades of screwed over right now. But he did it all to himself, because that's on you for taking off the Norse Russian guy. That's on you, boo. That's entirely on you. But I love my little idiot. I love my little idiot. And Atlantis, he also has an older brother who was also in the Marines, but he's a Marine nurse. I have a little joke in my head, and with Lun Momo, because any OC I have is usually linked to her OC somehow, because we're friends, we can do that. But Atlantis has an older brother named Helios, and Helios, he is a son of Apollo. And we have a little joke that his mom just sleeps around with all the gods. And so they have countless siblings from their mother because she has the body count of a god. Because girl can't pick her, girl can't keep a man. So they have countless siblings. But these are the two main ones, Atlantis and Helios. And Helios, he's a nurse who unfortunately got Apollo's plagues instead of Apollo's healing skills. So poor Helios is just there as a medical nurse, and every single person he has ever tried quote unquote helping has unfortunately died in the most horrendous of ways. I have this one thing in my head where Helios, there was this one time where a whole bunch, they got attacked, and they were in one of those medical tents, and they had a whole bunch of people, I think it'd be funny, I don't know, 34 people maybe. There's just a lot of people came in, and just, he was helping them, and every single person who was injured died in the medical wing because of Helios' plagues that he cannot control, because he had no idea in the first place he had that ability. Not until he gets a call several months later saying, hey, your little brother, Atlantis, the gunnery sergeant, he went AWOL and is now currently MIA with one of the Marine ships. If you find him or get in contact with him, report him, please. And Helios is just standing there like, what the F did he do? And it just kills me, because I just, Helios coming into contact later with Atlantis, and Helios coming to camp, and that whole interaction, while the entire time he's been worrying about his little brother, he's just been chilling at camp and has been at sea for 2 years. This whole time he's been perfectly fine. Helios, after hearing the news, also may or may not have faked Atlantis' death so he wouldn't get as in trouble with the Marines. But now that he knows for a fact his little brother is alive, and quite frankly, it couldn't be more worse for Atlantis. Just, good God, I love them. I love them so much. But that is Atlantis, Helios, and Erlend. I love all of them. Loon Momo has a couple who are tied to My Little Idiots, Ryder and Daphne. Daphne is a daughter of Aphrodite who actually leans more so on Aphrodite's war side. And she is a military vet who got a Purple Heart and is in like a nomination for a Silver Star, I think. Because the thing with Daphne is she fought in, I can't remember what battle Loon Momo said, but Daphne's battle that she was in, they got bombed, and she actually single-handedly fought off a whole bunch of people because she's a demigod and she knows how to fight already. And so she saved like countless lives that day, and she got like injured in battle, so she got like a medical discharge from the military. And so now she just stays at camp as a camp counselor, and she helps out the little demigods and her little brother Ryder, who is actually a son of Ares. And he is the most pathetic Aries kid you could possibly imagine. He has the temper of an Aries kid, but you take one look at him and you would think he's like a Hermes kid, or like I don't know. He's just a scrawny kid. He is itty bitty, and they're both Southern, and so they both have just the thickest Southern, specifically Texan Southern accent, and I love them. I love Daphne. She takes zero shits from anybody, and I love her for it. She's just, I love him. And Daphne and Erlend, they end up having a little thing, and they eventually actually end up getting married after a while. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys finish watching the rest of this. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear more about my OCs and see more of my art. I have been trying to post more frequently, and I think so far I've been managing it. I don't know. I've only posted, this is I think last week was the first time I posted in I think several months. So we shall see how well I hold myself to my word on this. But like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Turn on that little notification button if you want to really be notified about when I post. But I will see you guys in the next video. And y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.